Who are you?
To record in here.
Who are you, sir?
I'm the court administrator. Turn it off. I'm going to tell you one more time, and then you
What's
can
your
be
name,
arrested.
sir? Arrested for what?
Disorderly conduct.
Is this not the United States of America?
Turn it off. The phone's coming out of your hands.
It's not.
There's a lot of government buildings that say you can't record.
So this is the municipal code. This is all filed through the Ohio Supreme Court and is approved by them.
Okay.
And it's because of the size of our court, they said, when you're going upstairs, there's a chance you could be filming victims of crimes and all that, which they have to protect the victim.
I just want to know if I'm detained, because I'd like to get out of here. I'm still detained. It doesn't work that way. Even if I'm arrested, you still can't go into my phone and erase it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit, back to another one. Perrysburg Municipal Courthouse, Ohio. Walked in, clerk was professional, was about to show me the local court rules. Then Court Administrator Scott came out, said this is not the United States of America, threatened to take the phone out of my hands. Then a female officer tried to get me to delete my footage. Even if I was arrested, you still need a warrant to touch my phone. Watch this.
Excuse me, sir?
Turn your camera off.
Who
Not
are you?
allowed to record in here.
Who are you, sir?
I'm the court administrator. Turn it off.
I just want to know who you are. What's your name?
Turn it off.
Do you see the difference between you
time.
and the woman that just came out here?
I'm going to tell you one more time, and then you
What's
can
your
be
name,
arrested.
sir? Arrested for what?
Disorderly conduct, obstructing official business.
I'm not obstructing anything. This is my
Yes,
First
you are.
Amendment right. You're not even a law enforcement officer,
You
sir.
don't have a first.
A routine visit to the Perrysburg Municipal Courthouse quickly turned into a confrontation when Sean, an independent journalist, entered the building while recording. Almost immediately, a court administrator approached him and demanded that he turn the camera off. Sean questioned the man's authority and simply asked who he was. Instead of calmly explaining the situation, the administrator warned him that the phone could be taken from his hands and even mentioned possible arrest. Within seconds, a peaceful visit had become tense.
Amendment right in this building.
Of course I do.
You're not allowed to.
This is not the
record.
United States of America?
Turn it off.
Are you a law enforcement officer, sir?
Yes. Yes.
You are a law enforcement
Yes.
officer? So you can effect arrests?
Yes. Turn it off.
I would like to speak to the bailiff downstairs. I'd like to speak to an actual law enforcement
I'm the court
officer.
administrator, and I'm also a law enforcement officer.
How are you a law enforcement officer and a court administrator?
Why does that concern you?
Because impersonating a law enforcement officer is a crime, sir.
Then you can go file charges against me. I'm a law enforcement officer. Why are you filming in the building?
That
You're not
probably
allowed
would have
to
been your
film in the
first
building.
question that you could have asked me instead of coming to me so aggressively. What's your name, sir?
Scott.
Scott, my name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. All I'm doing
You're not
is...
allowed to record in this building.
But-
It's a local court rule.
And the clerk is getting me the rules so I can look at it. There is no
In the
signage,
meantime,
Scott. There is no
turn your phone
signage.
off.
There is no signage that is posted here for me to know. So she's getting me the court rule so I can look at it and be aware. I need to be advised of the...
Turn your phone off.
But I need to be advised of the rule and see the rule.
No,
I just
you
want to
do
read the
not.
rule.
You do not.
Yes, you do. You have to be made aware of the rule. This is not a
I'm
crime.
telling you what the rule is.
Hey, sir,
Turn your
how are
phone
you?
off right now. Turn it off.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to de-escalate. There's no
I
law
don't-
being
I don't
broken
care
here.
what you would like me to do.
Okay, so
I'm
why should I care what you
repeatedly
like?
asking
I'm
you.
The confrontation escalated when the administrator accused Sean of disorderly conduct and obstructing official business. Sean immediately challenged the accusation, explaining that he was peacefully exercising what he believed was his First Amendment right. The administrator insisted that recording was not permitted inside the courthouse, and even declared that this was not the United States of America. Sean then questioned whether the man was actually law enforcement. The administrator claimed that he was creating even more confusion about his authority.
She's
Because
getting me
it's
the
a local
rule.
court
She's
rule.
getting me the court rule. So read.
Okay. Okay. The phone's coming out of your hands.
It's not. That would be a violation of my rights. You have no. I'm not breaking any law, sir. Why would the phone come out of my hand?
Let me ask you something. What's your business here today?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask some questions to the clerk, and I'm gonna leave.
No, Scott's asking.
I just did a minute ago.
No, you did not. You said to turn off the phone.
No.
Can I, ma'am? Can I see the rules?
You can get online.
I missed the chance to see the rules. Are you kidding
Before we
me?
get this figured out, I'm going to ask you to leave, okay?
All right, I'll wait for the PD. That's the first time. I want to make it clear. The first time someone's asked me to leave, you told me a million times to turn off the phone. Sorry, ma'am. It's absolutely ridiculous the way you guys are acting today. Really. Especially you, Scott.
I don't really care.
All right,
Think
that's
is or
fine.
isn't ridiculous. All you had to do was shut your phone off.
All you had to do was show me the rules. She printed out the rules. She was very nice to me, and she said, I will show you the rules. And I said, okay, no problem. And she has them printed out. You say, don't show it to him.
No, you missed that chance.
She has the rules printed out, and you don't show it to him.
That earlier.
What do you mean? I never saw the rule.
I don't have to show you the rule.
Hi, ma'am. How are you? I'm going to talk to you outside.
Okay, well, turn off the camera, the recording here.
Yeah, I'm outside. I can record. So I'm just going to go outside and record.
Okay, but you're not stopping the recording now.
But I'm going outside.
They asked you to stop the recording prior to this.
Right, but that wasn't a law. Listen, I want to explain to you outside. So that way, there's no confusion here.
Well, it sounds like there's some miscommunication.
Right. Sounds like somebody's lying, and that's why I record my interaction with law enforcement. So
Sean explained that the courthouse clerk had previously been professional and was willing to show him the local rule concerning recording. His main request was simple. He wanted to see the actual rule before complying. Sean pointed out that there were no obvious signs warning visitors that recording was prohibited. He argued that someone simply telling him a rule existed was not enough, because he needed to know whether the restriction actually applied to the area where he was standing.
you mind if I get your name and badge number?
Yeah. Name's Officer Lord. Badge number's 33.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you. Did you see the signs?
1 second so you can talk to him.
You want me to talk over there and then?
Okay, yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Just to make it clear to everybody, there are no signs posted anywhere.
Yeah.
And like I said, ma'am, it's all recorded. So if they want to say that if they want to lie against me and say like, oh, we told them multiple times to leave. They told me multiple times to turn off the recording. It is not inherently illegal. I will admit that. They told me multiple times to turn off the recording, but it's not inherently illegal. And plus, if he's law enforcement, I have a right to film law enforcement. You know that. So he said he identified himself as law enforcement.
You can film law enforcement. I have no problem. That's why I'm letting you record me while we're outside. The issue is that, like I said, for all the city buildings, which this is attached to our city, the police department is attached to the municipal building, which is the city offices. There's postage saying that you cannot record inside.
Right.
So, and that.
But there's not anything posted here. You have to advise people by being posted.
That there's rules against the court that you don't have to have that posted. So he's printing off that information. We're going to get that information, and we'll go from there on what they want to do. But basically, there's a lot of government buildings that say you can't record, and they don't have to have postings inside or outside saying that.
Well, they do. Okay,
that's something that's just
fine. Like I said, I film in a lot of government buildings across the country, and it's just for transparency, asking questions of my government, and some of them say you can't. In the NYPD, they say you can't. I got a federal judge to say you can. Again, if it has to go that way, it has to go that way. I left when told to leave. The rule is not a statute that you can arrest me for. It's not a statute. It's not something it's not at least that I know of. I've never heard of this rule, but it's not a statute. You don't get charged with it.
Have like their own.
Right. But the judge is the ones that enforce it, not local law enforcement. The judge is the one that.
Eventually, Sean agreed to leave the courthouse while continuing to record outside. Officer Lord arrived and identified himself by name and badge number. Sean explained that the situation had become confusing because the courthouse administrator had demanded that he stop recording, while the clerk had been willing to provide the rule. The officer acknowledged that some government buildings have restrictions on recording. Sean responded that he regularly documents public officials and believes transparency is important, especially when government employees are involved.
It would be a contempt of court charge.
We would still be involved in this. Like, their concern is that they asked you to leave.
That's not true. It's not true.
And then that didn't happen. So then, of course, they're going to call us.
That's not true. So am I being detained at this time? I just want to know. Okay.
Like I said, we're trying to figure out.
Can I speak to a supervisor as well? That's all right. If there's one available.
91 to 83.
Good.
Are you available to stop over here? He's requesting to speak with the supervisor.
Yeah.
The difference is between the court administrator and the clerk. All she said was, you can't record in here, sir. I understand. If you have any questions, I can answer you. I said, well, can I see the rules? She said, yeah, not a problem. She goes to get the rules, and in the meantime, while she's getting the rules so I can look at them and comply with the rules, if I don't want to, piss off a judge, it's not my intent. So I wanted to make sure they exist. Some people say things that aren't true, right? Some people say things that aren't true. They'll say, well, I've been in that scenario a lot of times. They'll say, you can't record in here. And I'll say, well, what's the law or the statute? And they'll be like, you just can't record in here. And then they call the police department. The police department says, well, actually, you can record in here. It's a public building. So if I just complied with anybody telling me something, I would never exercise my constitutional rights. Some people are ignorant and they say things that aren't true. Sometimes they are true. I just wanted verifiable fact that it was true or not. I just wanted to, and the clerk was so nice about it. And she comes with the paper to hand it to me, and he's like, nah, don't give it to him. Does that make any sense? If you want to enforce a rule, or if you're thinking that I'm breaking a rule, why wouldn't you want me, here, sir, here's the rule that you're breaking. Now, if you don't comply with breaking the rule, if you don't comply with our rule, then you're going to be in some sort of trouble or whatever.
I get it. That's why I asked the other officer.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
My name is Sean. Do you mind if I get your name and badge number?
That's Sergeant McGuffin, number 83.
Sergeant, so the problem I'm having here is that,
Outside the courthouse, Sean continued explaining his position to the officers. He acknowledged that courts can have specific rules restricting photography or recording, but argued that those rules should be clearly communicated. The officers explained that courthouse policies may not always require signs to be posted. Sean disagreed, saying visitors should have a reasonable opportunity to understand restrictions before being accused of violating them. He also emphasized that he had already left the building when asked and was now cooperating with law enforcement.
I walked inside. I am a First Amendment activist. I ask questions. I'm an independent journalist. I told you my name is Sean. I was just asking some questions of people inside. A clerk came out. She was very nice. She said, sir, there's a local rule that you cannot record for the courthouse. And I said, okay, can I see the rule? And she said, sure, let me go get you a copy of it. So I waited where I was. While she's there, a court administrator says, turn off your phone now, starts freaking out on me, escalating the situation. And
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where was your phone pointed? Was it in towards the windows where they have all the paper?
Well, no, I was far away. I didn't even go up to the windows. No, in the courtroom. No. And I asked her that.
You're at the window.
No, I was in front. I was when you first walk in from the elevator, that's it. And I asked her, I said, can I see the rules? Because I've dealt with this before. Sometimes it says the courtroom, sometimes it says different places. So I just wanted to clarify what it was. Sometimes people tell me you can't record and they have no idea what they're talking about. So I just said, okay. And the cops and the police come and they're like, well, he can record, right? So I just want to see the rules. So she said, yeah, she was very nice. She said, sure, no problem. Then Scott comes out and he's like, I'm a law enforcement officer. I'm telling you to stop recording. And I was like, can I see the rule? He's like, no, you're not going to see the rule. The administrator comes out, the clerk comes out, excuse me, and she says, here are the rules, sir. And I said, oh, okay, thank you. And he's like, no, I don't give him the rules. There's nothing posted, sir. There's nothing that would make me understand or know that there is a rule other than somebody telling me, and they could be lying. It's not a law enforcement officer. It's not you. It's not somebody official. Some guy in a suit telling me that.
That's the clerk of court, or the chief bailiff.
Right. But again, I had no idea.
A sergeant eventually arrived and listened to Sean's explanation. Sean carefully described what happened inside, saying the clerk had offered to retrieve the rule, but the administrator allegedly prevented her from handing it to him. He explained that he was not trying to interfere with court proceedings or record confidential information. The sergeant asked where Sean had been pointing his camera. Sean clarified that he had not entered a courtroom or approached sensitive areas, and that his purpose was simply documentation.
So he told me he's a court administrator. I think he's some sort of administrator. And at the end of the day, he's not a law enforcement officer. He can't effect arrests outside of the courthouse.
He signs warrants and all that.
Right.
He said he is the chief bailiff.
Right. So all I was saying is that, and then once one of the bailiffs inside said, all right, until we figure this out, leave. Until we figure this out. And I said, all right, no problem. I'll leave. I'll wait for law enforcement. He said, we called law enforcement. The bailiff says, I don't want to violate your rights. Let's figure this out. Let's, we could look at the rule. Because sometimes rules have specific areas in the courthouses.
That would be my guess. My
Right.
understanding would be not in a courtroom or anywhere that window.
Right.
There's a lot of sensitive information on the backside of that window.
Right. Well, going up to the window, I did not do. Again, I was looking at the window. I was looking at different things that are on the window. I didn't go past the window. I'm not trying. My intent is not. I identify. My name is Sean. I work with law enforcement across the country on First Amendment activism rights, on our rights.
And you still get to see those rules?
No, I've not seen the rules. And I've not, when the clerk came out, to give me the rules, he said, don't give it to him. That doesn't make any sense.
Like I said, the only other thing I think might be an issue is if you somehow are interfering with court proceedings or anything like that.
Well,
Which,
I mean, I think I was just, that's it. I mean, I wasn't being, I was talking the same level as I'm talking to you. I'm a very respectful person. I'm not trying to break the law. I'm not trying to, agitate anybody. I'm here to peacefully exercise my First Amendment right. That's all I'm doing. And if there's a rule, I just wanted to see it.
No,
I mean, it should be posted. I said it should be clear and conspicuously posted for the public to see. You can't just say, oh, there's a rule that, no hats allowed, but then there's no rule posted. Like, it needs to be clear and conspicuously posted. I've dealt with these kind.
Officials explained that the courthouse had restrictions because people involved in criminal cases, including victims, could potentially be recorded inside. Sean acknowledged that protecting victims was important, but questioned how visitors could know exactly where recording was prohibited if the restrictions were not clearly posted. The discussion remained relatively calm as both sides tried to understand the policy. Sean repeatedly stated that he was not against law enforcement or the court system. His argument, he said, was about transparency and constitutional rights.
Of rules before,
but I think that's more dress code for court appearances.
Right. And then I saw a sign on the courtroom door that says there is no electronic devices allowed in the courtroom. So again, everything I'm seeing is not telling me that I'm doing anything wrong.
From everything you told me, I don't see how any laws, obviously, but court rules. I mean, if you're in violation of some sort of court rule, they would have to charge you with contempt, which is a judge.
Right. And that's what I was explaining. That's what I was explaining to the officer here, that I'm not breaking any laws. If there's a rule, then sure, the judge can
it would
do
be a
contempt of court.
On them,
right.
It's not something we charge you.
Right.
So I can go inside, see where Officer Lohr is.
And again, you could take a look. There's no signs or anything. I think it's reasonable to ask. I'm not in a courtroom. I'm not filming anything confidential. I think it's reasonable to ask, can I see a copy of the rules? That's it. And I mean, I think that's a pretty reasonable request. But the court administrator, Scott, he just didn't want to. He was letting his ego get the best of him. I deal with law enforcement all the time. I'm not anti-law enforcement. I'm just pro-rights. That's it, and pro-transparency. Hey, sir.
So this is the municipal code. This is all filed through the Ohio Supreme Court and is approved by them.
Okay.
And it's because of the size of our court, they said, when you're going upstairs, there's a chance you could be filming victims of crimes and all that, which they have to protect the victims of crimes. Okay?
Well, couldn't you film victims? I understand what you're saying, and I have no problem with it. I'm just saying you could film victims of crimes on the sidewalk walking into the court, right?
There's a higher chance that you're going to be videotaping a victim in that room than out here, I guess.
Right. Well, anybody that walks in could potentially be a victim. That's what I'm talking about. How would I know up there?
No, I'm saying, how would you know that they're actually going into the court?
Right. Oh, I mean, this is the courthouse, right?
Well, I mean, if they're just out here.
I'm saying I can film anybody. I'm just saying the reasonableness of it. I understand. I'm just saying the reasonableness for me to, that I can film everybody walking in, but once they're in, you can't film them anymore because I can film right here from the sidewalk, right?
After a lengthy discussion, officials finally produced the actual municipal court rule. The document stated that video recording, videotaping, and still photography were prohibited inside the Perrysburg Municipal Court. Officials explained that the rule had been filed to the Ohio Supreme Court and approved for the courthouse. Sean appeared satisfied that the rule actually existed. He explained that this was all he had wanted from the beginning, not special treatment, but an opportunity to see the written rule and understand exactly what restrictions applied.
I'm just saying. Go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
In this, I mean, they said they don't normally have to give it to you. They said that you can find all this online.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
The House Supreme Court and all that. You can find the local law,
right?
Local codes and all that. Okay. So in this packet, Rule 9.04, video recording prohibited. The use of video recording or videotaping devices and the use of still photography devices inside the Perrysburg Municipal Court shall be prohibited.
Right.
Okay. So under that code right there, that's the reasoning for why you can't be up in there. Okay. All this is approved and everything by the Ohio Supreme Court.
Right.
So it's coming down from them. It's not just.
And that's all I wanted to see was the actual. All I wanted to see was the
they
rule.
Said you can have this.
Okay, perfect.
I have a sticky note.
I didn't want to have it. I don't need to have it.
If you have concerns, I'm going to go speak with them, see if they can maybe post that.
Right. Yeah. No. I don't even need to have it. I'll take it. But it's. I didn't want to keep it. I just wanted to see the actual rule because a lot of times people lie to me. They say you can't record in here, and then it turns out I can. So I just wanted to see the rule, be advised of the rule. I'm not trying to get held in contempt of court by a judge. You know, I'm never going to win that.
Contempt, it said maybe like a disorderly, because you'd have to be in front of the judge for it to be contempt. But
Right.
it said,
But
opinions.
you could. There's such thing as indirect. There's indirect contempt, and it's definitely. That's what he told me. He says, I said, sir, what would I be arrested for? He said, disorderly conduct. I'm like, it's not disorderly conduct. I'm like, you know, it has to be some type of conduct that's actual disorderly. I know the statute. I mean, but again, I've worked with officers here in Ohio.
I'll go discuss that with you.
It could be because he told you that there was a rule against you recording and you continued to record.
Right, but that's not in and of itself disorderly conduct. It's disorderly conduct is actual my conduct that would be disorderly, not just not listening to some random guy who says that there's a rule. You know, again,
Well, it's not
like he said, like,
a guy.
right, he's the court administrator. Right. But to me, I didn't know who he was at first. He's like, I'm not telling you who I am. At the end, sure, but he came up to me very aggressively. And again, all I wanted to see was the rule. I didn't think it was a big deal to see the rule.
Well, now that we're done with that, you have the.
Am I being detained any longer?
No, but since you were in violation, are you able to just delete the video that when you were inside? You can.
Even after the rule was shown, the confrontation took another turn. Officers asked Sean whether he could delete the footage recorded inside the courthouse. Sean refused, arguing that officials could not simply demand access to or deletion of material stored on his phone. He repeatedly asked whether he was still detained and what specific violation he had committed. Officers continued discussing whether his actions could amount to disorderly conduct. Sean maintained that he had not acted violently, threatened anyone, or disrupted court proceedings.
You can keep the recording of when you were outside talking with us.
Well, no, unless I'm being forced to under threat of arrest or threat of contempt, I'm not going to. Just it's my right to record.
It's not your people.
Not. I mean, I think it was. There was nobody in there that was.
Yeah, I'll go speak with them again because of the victims being up,
Right.
potentially being up there. They might.
Well, that's fine. I just want to know if I'm detained because I'd like to get out of here.
You're being detained.
I'm still detained.
Until we can figure out what they want to do, because you were in violation. They provided that.
Right. So what is? Sir, I just don't want to put down my phone. What is what does it say on there? The consequences of the violation. What does it say that the
I'm not
consequences
sure
would be?
what the consequences are. It just shows the rule.
Normally, in the rules, they'll say something along the line of.
You still maybe approved pursuant to municipal court, local code if you get approval through them.
So it doesn't say.
It doesn't
Yeah.
say.
Normally, it'll say, this is a violation of. Again, if it's. I just know it's not disorderly conduct. So that, I mean, if you want to arrest me for disorderly conduct, go ahead. That's an easy charge to beat because I didn't do it. I wasn't disorderly. He's cursing. He was cursing and screaming and raising his voice. I've been talking the same thing the whole time.
The issue is you have the recording where you're not supposed to
Right,
be recording in.
But again, I did not know. I did not see a rule. No one showed me a rule. There's no rule posted conspicuously.
Showed you now.
Now, right. And now I'm already out of the courthouse after
But
you showed me.
You have the recording that was inside that.
Right.
Why they prevent you.
It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You could just, erase. Even if I'm arrested, even if I'm arrested, you still can't go into my phone and erase it, right? You still can't. You need a warrant.
Well, we'll see if he wants to charge you that.
All right. I mean, I'm saying, even if you arrest me, it doesn't solve the problem of the recording. It's not going to get erased. You can't just go into people's phone and erase their footage. I'm not going anywhere. You tell me I'm detained, I'm staying right here. Tell me I'm under arrest, I'm not going to fight you, I'm not going to run. Not a threat to you guys. All right, I just want to make that clear. Thank you. Have a good day.
Camera malfunction during part of the Scott encounter. Won't happen again. Body camera from now on. But we got enough. Scott is exposed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe. God bless. Long Island Audit. Peace.
Eventually, Sean was told that he was no longer being detained. He maintained that he had cooperated by leaving the courthouse and had never intended to create a disturbance. He also insisted that even an arrest would not automatically give officers the authority to erase his footage. As the encounter ended, Sean revealed that a camera malfunction had affected part of the recording, but said enough evidence remained. He closed by emphasizing the importance of transparency, accountability, and knowing your rights when dealing with public officials.